and welcome. You're watching Buy Now, Sell Now on ET Now. I'm Nupur, and joining me on the show over the next 1 hour is Kavita, and we'll be taking your queries live as well as taking them on WhatsApp. So look at those numbers that are flashing and do send them to us. Well, we also have Kunal as well as Sharmila joining us through the show, and they will be answering your questions. But let's take a look first at how the markets are doing before I come to you both. Good morning. The markets actually seem to have rebounded after yesterday. The positive breadth across all indices. We are seeing the Nifty up in a way about 0.6% nearly. The Sensex also up about 0.7%. Looking now at the broader indices, the Nifty mid cap also doing quite well. Nifty small cap up about 1%, so that's a good one. Nifty small cap 250 also following those cues. Quickly looking at the IT, the bank, and the auto sector, all of them green shoots today. So perhaps we are also responding to what we've seen globally. But Kunal, quickly coming to you on this one, how do you see the market breadth today?
Well, good morning. First of all, I think it's a good start for the index because we are not just back again about 24,200 levels, but I think the sector compositions have improved quite well. You're looking at a resurgence coming across for banking, the bank Nifty or the banking index. You're seeing a good comeback across the capital market themes, PSE, etc., which have done reasonably well. Financials have done very well for themselves over the last few weeks. They continue to look strong. Real estate or the realty pack is something which has been looking charged up, and there are fresh breakouts as well as a recovery for many of the stocks which have been into a slight bit of a profit booking mode. So the sector composition is quite strong. The market breadth is attractive. The index holding up towards pretty good resistance points for itself. And then the most important point, which solidifies the market mood, is the global market arena, and that I think is still onto a positive terrain. You've seen many of the asset classes, Bitcoin, gold, silver, etc., trying to make a comeback for themselves. So net, I would believe that over the next couple of days, I would expect the index to see a follow-through up move after today's uptick.
All right, so that was a quick market check, but then we also have our viewers connecting on the phone line. This is Mr. George from Chennai. Hi, good morning, sir. How are you doing today?
Yeah, fine, madam.
You can ask your question.
Yeah, actually, my question is, I am holding 600 shares of Sula Vineyards, purchased at an average rate of 284. So, what my question is that, can I utilize this opportunity to buy some more shares so that I can average it?
All right, what's the timeline till when you want to stay invested?
I can hold it for one more year. I can hold it.
1 more year. All right, let's take a fundamental view and the average price we can check from Kunal. But Sharmila, what's going to be your view for a 1 year's time horizon?
I think it might make good sense to hold. What I can see is, honestly, this is the stock I like, and I'm surprised to see it at this price. Because overall, alcohol as a business is something that I like, and within that space, Sula Vineyard is a major wine maker in the entire country. I think you see their bottles across restaurants. I mean, the kind of coverage that they have is pretty impressive. And we do have data that the number of people drinking wine is growing year on year. Both beer and wine have seen good growth in the last maybe a decade or so. So I think everything points to a very good growth. What I do see is that numbers were impacted. I'm not really sure why. But now we are beginning to see a recovery. So it might be a good idea to see whether it's worth averaging. But I think definitely hold on to what you have, because your entry price is actually very good.
All right, Kunal, can you average more? Can you buy more at the current levels?
I would not recommend to buy or average out further into the stock price. I think the chart patterns are still quite weak. And I think over the last 1 year, approximately, the stock has more than halved from its major highs. And it still looks like that the stock has not been able to find any kind of a major support. In fact, my suggestion would be to try and use any kind of a decent bounce which happens into the stock price as a good point where you may look to exit the stock. You might want to move on. If you want to stick to the same sector, for example, you might want to move on to 2 other names, maybe on a part-to-part basis. You might want to look at Radico That's a very strong performing chart, as well as United Spirits. So if you want to stick to the same sector, I would suggest to exit on rallies from this stock to other names.
All right, I think we've got another caller on the phone line with us. Kiran is joining us from Chennai. Hi, Kiran. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing well, ma'am. Hope you're all fine as well.
Yes, we are. Please go ahead with your question.
Yeah, thank you. So my question is regarding Ajanta Pharma. I have been purchasing this share on SIP mode. My average price is around 3,450. Yeah, so shall I continue to this SIP, or shall I shift to any other pharma stock? That's one. And the second one is around the other stock, Bank of India. Right now I am in profits, but stock of late has been declining. So shall I book profits and exit, or shall I continue to hold and average even at this price? My average price of Bank of India is 121. I have invested 450 shares.
All right, quickly, Kiran, we didn't get your first stock. Could you just repeat that for us?
That's Ajanta Pharma.
All right. Okay, what's your advice on both of these? Coming to you, Sharmila, first.
Yeah, so let me talk about Bank of India because, similar to you, I missed the name of the first one. So Bank of India, I definitely like, and I think that overall PSU as well as banking as a space is something that I like with the Indian context. I think that we will see companies in the financial services space do well over the next year. And it has been a sector that has performed as well. So definitely, I think continue to hold Bank of India. Where Ajanta Pharma is concerned, I sort of missed even the buying price. But at this price point, I would definitely not add more because the valuations do look a little expensive. But maybe you could hold on to what you have.
And Kunal, is that something that looks like that to you on the technicals as well?
See, I would recommend that hold on to your holdings on Ajanta Pharma. It's a good strategy to go with an SIP over here, or maybe like a constant buying or a consistent buying on the stock price. But I would recommend just wait for maybe minor corrections into the stock price. There could be a possibility that over the next 1 to 3 months, the stock may come back towards 3,400, 3,450 mark. That could be a point further where you may want to buy the stock at slightly lower levels. So that's what I would recommend for Ajanta Pharma. For Bank of India, I would sense that it's a good strategy to hold on to the stock price, even though I think Bank of India is grossly, underperformed in the last 1.5 odd year, and that's because of the entire PSU banking names going into a corrective phase. I would still believe that the chart patterns on the long-term basis are very attractive for Bank of India. And whenever the PSU banking index gets into a breakout, I think Bank of India should be amongst the top 3, top 5 performers in the pack. So I would suggest a hold on Bank of India as well.
All right, let's move on. Let's take Savita's question. She's from Bangalore. And the stock is Mahindra Logistics, and the entry price is 506. I think she wants a short-term view. Kunal, can you help?
So I would recommend a hold on the stock price. If possible, then I would suggest even an averaging out, say closer to 385 mark for Mahindra Logistics, which apparently could coincide with the 200-day moving average for the stock price, or maybe a midpoint between the 50 and the 200-day moving average for the stock. 340, 350 has been a huge support on the long-term basis. I don't see an immediate correction on the stock price, at least as of now, to that degree. But I think closer to 380, 85 is where I would suggest to average out so that you can bring your cost price lower. And then the stock may probably give you an opportunity to try and exit closer to your cost price, or at least you may want to revisit at that point of time.
All right, so 380, 385 is the cost that you should look at for averaging it out. Well, on that note, we slip into a very, very short break. When we return, we're going to be answering more of those questions, so do keep them coming.
Welcome back. You're watching Buy Now, Sell Now, and we're answering your stock-specific questions. We have Sharmila and Kunal with us who are answering your questions live. Let's move on. We have a WhatsApp question coming in from Sumantra from Delhi, and Arvind, Sumantra has bought at the price of 516. Wants to stay invested for next 6 months, and according to that, wants to know what should be the call. Booking profit makes sense, or can he get more returns? Kunal, what would you recommend?
I would recommend to hold on to the stock as of now, even though I think you're sitting on decent short-term profits. The only reason for that is that the textile stocks are now in flavor. I think many of the textile stocks have given breakouts for themselves. There are many of the stocks which have come back towards lifetime highs. And imagine at a point when the markets itself are struggling, there is there are a few stocks within the sector which have come back towards this kind of an up move. I think recently, if I'm not wrong, the last month or so, even Arvind had come back towards 600 plus levels. So the stock has been looking quite strong. There could be a possibility that the next 1 or 2 months the stock may go into a marginal cool off or a correction. But if you have a time frame of 6 months, 1 year plus, then I sense that once this consolidation / correction is over for Arvind, the stock could make a decent comeback above the 600 plus level. So what matters over here is your risk appetite as well as your time frame. If both of them are strong enough in terms of your time frame extended towards 6 months, 1 year, I would recommend a hold.
All right, the next question coming in from Delhi right now, and Neil is writing to us. The stock in question is KPIT Tech. The quantity is 130. Entry price is 1,500 rupees or thereabouts. Now, the question is, will it be wise to average now or should I wait? So, Sharmila, he wants to know a longish term view. What's your sense on KPI Tech?
So very honestly, I am not very confident on how a lot of the IT stocks are going to behave, simply because we do see drawbacks. You do see them go up from lower prices. But every time you hear some news about some disruption caused by AI, then you see a big correction coming in again. So maybe just hold on to the quantity that you have, but definitely don't add anything fresh. This is what I would really advise.
Quickly coming to you, is that a view you hold as well?
No, I've been bullish on the IT stocks. I would sense that it's a good play if you are a contra investor to try and look at many of these IT names. Yes, we generally said that good price and good news, they will never come together. The prices are good. The news flow is not positive for the IT names. But if you have that kind of a contra risk appetite and you're okay holding on to the stock for the next 12 to 18 months at least, I think I would probably sense that this could be a good zone where you may start look to accumulate KPIT Tech.
Okay, next question is coming in from Rajan from Bangalore. And any hospital stocks to buy at the current levels or any dips for next 3 years? Shamila, do you have a recommendation here?
So I do like Apollo hospitals. I don't know in terms of valuation how it seems because the kind of verticals that they have, as well as hospitals as a space, is something that I like. And within that, I think because Apollo hospitals has 3 distinct verticals, and I see each of these verticals playing out fairly well. Apollo hospitals is what I would recommend.
All right, Kunal, any view over here? Apollo Hospital, if you also give a buy advice here, what's going to be the buy price?
Yeah, I think it's a good stock to hold on to at the current levels. Recently, I think Apollo Hospital went through a 10% correction from 9,050 levels towards, I think 8,300, 400 mark is what the stock had tested. I would suggest that if you're looking to buy the stock, wait for a dip down back to that 8,300 levels at least if you're looking to chip into. But then, what's happened is that many of these hospital stocks, they've had a fantastic uptrend for the last many quarters. And, investors generally tend to buy the stocks at a point when the prices have peaked out, or maybe the best of the rallies in the short term could probably have played out. So you'll have to be very, very sanguine about how much quantity you want to buy and then trying to use dips to buy. So I would suggest to wait for significant price corrections, start off with 8,300 as a base point, but then look to add on to the stocks on strong corrections, I would suggest for Apollo Hospital.
Okay, Satya from Kerala is writing in, holding Fractal Analytics and Ellen since IPO. Both are in losses. Should I average now or switch to Usha Martin or Skipper for the medium to long term? So, Kunal, would you advise him to do that, and what levels would you advise in terms of entering it?
See, frankly, I don't track both of these names, but then I would probably assume that I'll probably take Usha Martin because I think that's a very strong chart. I was looking at the stock over the last, I think, 6 months back. Also, the stock, which was poised at 440, 450 levels earlier, has moved on to that 500 plus mark as a breakout. Usha Martin as a long-term chart is far attractive. And as a strategy also, I would sense that since both of your earlier names which you mentioned, Fractal Analytics as well as Ellen, I think if both of these stocks are underperforming, I would suggest that it's always better to go with a stock which has been performing as well as a leader, because you can keep on averaging the stock at every highs because you're playing with the trend and you're going with the momentum for the stock. So I would suggest Usha Martin could be a better bet.
Okay, let's move on. And the next WhatsApp question is coming in from Zeenath. Wants to invest in Astral, Signed and Kalyan Jewelers for medium to long term. Shamila, do you have coverage on either of these, and would you recommend a buy?
Yes, I think overall, Astral definitely looks like a decent stock. So does Kalyan. Signed, I'm not too sure about.
Kunal?
See, I think out of the two names, I would suggest Astral as well as Kalyan Jewelers as of now. Kalyan specifically because what had happened was the last month or the month prior to that, the stock had seen a fantastic uptrend from almost a level of 360, 350 thereabouts. The stock had jumped up towards 600, 650 plus mark in a very short span of time. What had happened was in that time span, the volumes, the delivery volumes for Kalyan Jewelers had increased disproportionately high for the stock price, which means that there's been fresh entry of maybe bigger hands entering into the stock price. This, I believe, could bode very well for the stock in the near term. Would suggest a buy, but you may want to try and stagger your buying. You can start at current levels, use maybe like a 30 or a 40 point dip into the stock price from your initial purchase point as a point where you may want to average the stock lower.
All right, and on that note, it's time for a very short break, but we are continuing to take all your questions, and we will be answering all those queries on the other side as well, so do stay with us on ET Now. Well, thank you for staying with us, and we hope you got those numbers that were flashing on your screens. We are still live for the next half hour, so do take this opportunity to ask about the stocks that you are thinking of either buying or selling. But moving on quickly to a question that we are getting right now from Matthew. He's writing in from Kochi. The stock name is PTC Industries, bought a quantity of 25. The entry price is 17,825, and the question that he's asking is, should I hold, sell this stock? It has given me about 12% in about 6 months. I'm a medium-term investor. So Sharmila, he's a medium-term investor. What's your advice to him on this one?
I think it's a definite hold. It may take time to give you the kind of returns that we have seen in the past. But at this price point, PTC is a hold.
All right, let's move on. And the next question is coming from Rachel from Delhi, and wants to buy TVS and M&M. What should be the buy price? I don't know the time horizon, but Kunal.
I would recommend both of them at the current levels. I think both TVS as well as TVS Motors as well as Mahindra & Mahindra, I think both of these stocks are poised quite well. TVS has been established now as a strong leader in terms of the two-wheeler pack. The recent breakout which you've seen for TVS Motors from those 3,800 levels to 4,400 mark, where it's trading right now. I think it's been a spectacular uptrend. Looks like the stock is now migrating towards a much more higher range for itself. So TVS could be a good bet or an addition as part of your longer term portfolio. Even Mahindra & Mahindra, the stock which seems to have been struggling over the last 6 odd months, but it looks like that now the stock is coming closer to a breakout of its long-term moving average, just around the 3,450, 500 mark for M&M. So risk reward wise, I think Mahindra & Mahindra should also fit in quite well. My assumption is that your time horizon is more long-term.
All right, Madhukar Nayak from Karnataka writing into us, and the question revolves around BSC. The quantity is 223. The entry price is 4,008 rupees. Should I hold or exit? Sharmila, he's not written about what his perspective is in terms whether it's long-term or short-term. But what's your view? He is sitting, on a bit of a negative there.
Yeah. But overall, I think, what you really need to see when you're talking of a stock like BSE or any of the stocks that are really catering to the markets, whether it is commodities or the stock market. And I mean a whole host of stocks. I don't mean just the exchanges. So definitely we have BSE, NSE, MCX. But even some of the other players, maybe stocks like mutual fund companies, etc. I think all of these in the Indian context have a long way to go, because I think that, it's a matter of time we are going to see more and more people invest in the markets. So I think it's a definite hold for me. But of course, I think you need to be long term. And excuse me, but my cat is trying to be part of your show.
All right, got that, Sharmila. Let's take this other question coming in from Mohammed, and he's from Tamil Nadu. IRCTC is the stock that he's bought at 595, and should he be selling it off or maybe buy more? Kunal?
I would recommend to hold on to the stock as of now. Would suggest a buy once the stock crosses 525. That's a breakout point for IRCTC. The stock has been struggling to break past above a series of lower highs and lower lows. We generally expect a turnaround when the stock prices confirm a break of the most immediate resistance for itself, and I think that level is 525 for IRCTC. So hold on to the stock as of now, but above 525 when the stock confirms a breakout is where I would suggest to add.
All right, Stanislaus from Mysore is writing in and wants to know about ETI Infra. The quantity that he's holding is 200, entry price is 366, and looking in the short term, wants to know should he hold, average or sell. So Kunal, what are the charts telling you on this one?
See, it's quite a weak chart because I think consecutively for the last 10 or 12 weeks, the stock has been constantly falling from 425 levels to 295 thereabouts where the stock is trading right now. The only solace which the stock is showing right now is because of this 10-12 weeks of a consistent price correction. The indicators have come back into an oversold territory. So you may expect some bit of a bounce back, but such kind of a sharp correction generally deters investors into buying the stock price, because then when stocks go into a consistent sell-off, it becomes difficult for investors to keep on buying at every dips. So I would suggest that till the time the stock shows this kind of a moderate downside, you may hold on. But on periods of decent bounce back, if it comes closer to your cost price, I would suggest to revisit the stock at that point of time.
Okay. All right, let's move on. Next question is from Vishal from Bangalore, and the stock is Paras Defense. Entry price is 1234. All right, Kunal, what would you recommend?
I would recommend a hold on Paras Defense as of now, and the stock is showing a very strong uptrend. The volumes have been very strong, consistent over the last 2-3 months for Paras Defense. It's been one of the few defense names which has done spectacularly well over the last 6 months or so. I think 650 is where the rally started off. The stock is almost at 1500 plus levels where it has crossed today. So near-term price trends are quite strong. But then I would also suggest to maybe trail the stop losses on the higher side. Since you purchased around at 1200, 1250 range, I would suggest that keep your stop losses trailed towards, say, 1450 mark on closing basis. So if the stock holds on to this 1440, 1450 levels, you may continue to hold on. But if it closes below that point, is where I would suggest to start thinking of booking out some profits.
Okay, another question coming in from Nirmal Kumar from Bihar. The stock that he wants, actually he's got two stocks that he wants to know more about. One is Websol Energy. He's holding 100 shares. The entry price is 110. The other one is E2E Network, holding 700 stocks. Entry price is 325. And the question is, what will be the future of both the stocks? I want both a fundamental as well as a technical view. So, Sharmila, would you like to go first on this one?
So Websol, I think for me is a definite hold given the business as well as the valuation itself. E2E Network, it's a hold, but I definitely wouldn't add at this price. I think yes, both businesses seem to be doing. Again, E2E Networks had a bit of a limp last year, but now things seem to be improving. So both at this point are okay.
Right, and Kunal?
E2E Networks I don't track, so I'll skip that. But Websol, I would suggest that I would suggest to exit, because I think the stock has been into a very weak downtrend and looks like that the stock consistently has been quite falling or showing signs of weakness. So you may want to use any kind of a rally or a bounce back into the stock price as a point where you may look to exit.
Okay. Next question is from Naik from Karnataka. The stock is Root Mobiles, and entry price is 2040, and wants to know in short term what needs to be done. Okay, the buy price is really high. Kunal, short term?
And the stock, frankly, is far beyond even repair because from those 2000 levels, it's fallen down to one third, almost 500, where the stock is trading right now. This is where having some sort of a stop loss, even as a long-term investor, I think warrants attention. So, since the stock has fallen such sharply, it's difficult to give an advice. But I would suggest that it's a good ploy to switch to some other sector, some other stock. In this phase of the market correction, there are far better names, both large cap as well as quality mid cap wise, which are available at a decent discount as well as at a decent price correction. So my suggestion would be to switch from this stock to some other formidable space or sector.
All right, so Kunal thinks that this stock, there's no returning for this one, but we slip into a very short break on that note. When we return, we'll be answering more of your stock-specific queries, so do stay with us on Buy Now, Sell Now.
Welcome back. You're watching Buy Now, Sell Now, last leg of the show where we'll be answering your stock-specific question. Kunal, Sharmila are the guests today who are answering your stocks technical as well as fundamental queries. But let's move on. Let's take John's question. He's from Chennai. The stock is Morpen Labs, entry price is 67, time horizon is long term. So the stock was purchased in May last year and wants to know that if profits can be booked at the current rate or one should be holding for more. Sharmila, would you recommend to hold more?
Yes, I think he can continue to hold. He's already making money and the valuations are a little high, but I don't really see any reason to sell off in a hurry. I think you could get prices closer to maybe 100 plus sort of levels. So I think definitely continue to hold.
Okay, Sampath from Mumbai is writing into us, and the stock that he wants to know more about is IOB, holding 5,000 shares of that. The entry price is 41.5 rupees. Should I hold or sell at a loss, and where should he reinvest? So Kunal, what is your advice looking at the technicals? Any other place where he can invest?
Yeah, I think it's a good point where you may consider to book out your positions over here, because it looks like that the stock is still going through a bit of a struggle and underperformance with respect to many of its other peers. I would suggest that if you wanted to stick to the same sector, for example, then I would suggest looking at either PNB or Bank of Baroda at the current levels. I think both of these stocks are nearing towards a breakout for themselves on the short to medium term charts, and if there is any kind of a pickup on the entire PSU banking names going forward, then I think PNB and Bank of Baroda could be two formidable names. So you may want to probably look at these options, which could be far better than the current one which you're holding.
Okay. Sangeeta from Mumbai wants to know if it's the right time to invest in few stocks. She's picked up ASM Technologies, Amber Enterprises and Dixon Technology. She also has Kane Technologies, Idea Forge, Sharma SGS. Okay, so she wants to pick up any one of these. Sharmila, would you like to go first? Top three.
I'm sorry, I missed the stock names. Is it
Sure.
Amber and which are the three?
Amber, ASM Technologies, Dixon Tech, Sharma SGS, Keynes Tech, Idea Forge. So out of all of these, any top three picks?
So I don't have three, but I do like Amber. Overall, I think the way this space is going and how this company is positioned in that space, in air cooling solutions, etc., and they don't, meaning they've kept their costs low, so that's the model I like. So I do like all the companies within this space, but I think Amber Enterprise has some positives going for it. So also I think Dixon. Here we can argue that the stock price is high, but overall I think that given the business that they are in and the possibilities going ahead, Dixon is the other stock that I like from this list.
All right, Amber and Dixon. Kunal?
Well, I believe Amber Keynes Technology at the current levels could be a very interesting bet. Of course, it could be a little bit high beta, but I would sense that the stock is looking attractive. Even Idea Forge, I think at the current levels is something which you may want to consider.
All right, the next question coming in from Hector from Kolkata. He's picked out a quantity of 10 shares of Fine Organics. The entry price is 5851. The question that he's asking is, should he average at these levels or should he hold them for another year? So Sharmila, what's your take on this one?
I think definitely continue to hold what you have, but I would recommend averaging. I think the valuations are fairly high at this point in time. So a lot of the positives are factored in the price. So maybe if you see a correction, but definitely continue to hold what you have, but don't average.
Govind from Hyderabad wants to know about NHPC. Entry price is 89. Wants to know if he can book losses now. He can also hold it for 2 years. Sharmila?
Then I think you should continue to hold because a lot of these companies in this power space. Overall, I think what I'm trying to say is that power as a sector in the Indian context has again a lot of demand that we see going ahead as more and more industries etc. get into place. So these are sort of long gestation, long term sort of stories. So if you have a 2-year horizon, I think you should continue to hold.